Hey everybody, and welcome back. So this is an update video. I usually don't do this kind of video, but I've gotten a lot of people asking about my Ultralight air bike, my air bike Ultralight, and my RC updates. And I know that creates a little bit of confusion, but my life in aviation has always centered around model aircraft. Some full-scale aircraft when I got my pilot's license, and now I'm happen to be building an ultralight. So some of you are here to see ultralight updates, and some are here to see model aircraft updates. So just kind of be patient. But what we're going to do today is I'm going to try to bring you up to speed on where I'm at right now with everything and what's coming in the future, okay? So right now what we're going to talk about is the air bike, and then we're going to talk about my RC world, okay? So when we think about my ultralight, most of my life building giant scale airplanes and everything, everybody's like, why don't you build a real airplane? Well, if you want to give me a couple of $100,000 and I don't know, give me the ability to quit my job, I probably would build a full-scale aircraft or something. But an ultralight is a full-scale aircraft, but I decided to build an ultralight, and I've always loved welding, so I TIG welded up the fuse, and I've gotten a lot of progress. But in the winters, I like to give the garage to my wife and daughter. And that means nothing big can be brought into the house, because once the fuselage is either welded together or assembled, I can't get it back down into my basement shop, because my whole shop's in my basement. My office, I have what I call a clean room, and then I have my room that I have my saws and mills and lathe and stuff in. But the thing is that once it's winter, I pretty much shut down anything big, and the ultralight right now is big, okay? So what I want to do is talk about an update on the wing. So if you all know, I went in and drew in Fusion 360 my air bike wing, so I'd understand how it really assembled. I'm really probably OCD on just getting everything perfect, getting everything right, making sure everything fits snug. I hate to use epoxy as a filler, okay? I mean, for a joint. So I drew everything, the jig tables and everything in Fusion 360, and the right wing is done, except for the ailerons not cut out yet. And I've got to, I just started to, well, I hung the right wing on the wall, because I'm going to cut the ailerons out at the same time on both wings, okay? Just for a second here, I want to mention my sponsor. It's RTL Fasteners. They're an awesome company. And while 90% or 99% of what I've used it for is RC, there are some applications on anything you build where you need blind nuts or, whatever hardware. If you go to their website and you buy more than $50 worth of product and you use the code DA30, you will get 30% off your $50 or more order, okay? So back to the air bike wing. So the left wing is all jigged up right now. That picture just shows all the ribs laying on the table. But it is all jigged up, and it is essentially ready to start being epoxied together. But like I said, that table's pushed up against the wall right now, and my wife's and daughter's car has been in the garage. However, I've got a big fun fly coming up called Ceph, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So the MSL2 is back in the garage as of 3 days ago. So on the engine, originally I was going to go with basically a big RC engine on a belt drive, and it ended up being too light for me to even get my CG close. It was already a little bit low on horsepower, and then for me to add like 5 pounds of weight to the nose of the airplane just didn't make sense for me. So I ended up getting me a Kawasaki 340 from a company called Jaybird, and they build ultralight engines, and I'm super excited about it. So it's mounted on the airframe. I am making my own muffler, which might be a disaster. If it doesn't work, that's fine. I'll buy the one that I can buy from Jaybird. But I'm super excited with how this muffler is going, but it's taking a lot of time. The problem I've got with it now is I need to get it on the airframe and start aligning some things before I do some of my final welding. And there's like an isolation dampener that I've got to get lined up just right. So until I can get the fuselage back in the garage, that part of the air bike is on hold too. And I decided to go with a warp drive propeller on the airplane. I'm a little bit nervous because I had sized it around the little bit lower horsepower motor. Technically, I should have another inch on each propeller. Okay, so my propeller, I think, is 58 inches, and I probably need a 68-inch prop. But since this is a ground-adjustable variable pitch, I think I can adjust the pitch to keep the RPM down on the engine so it doesn't over-rev, and I should have plenty of thrust since this is a higher horsepower. But I'll have to find out. If not, I'm going to have to buy 2 more prop blades, and that's just part of a painful learning curve. I mean, you know, when you're doing stuff like this, there are learning curves. So now what I want to talk about is my RC world. What I'm going to do this year, I'm going to try to enjoy it more. Okay, I am going to work on my ultralight anytime that I can get in the garage and family and work are under control. But I am going to, normally I only go to 1 or 2 fun flies a year, and I'm going to talk about that at the end of this, but I'm going to try to do a lot more fun flies this year. MSL2, like I said, a couple of days I brought it back in the garage to get it ready for Ceph, and there's a couple of things I want to get done on it. And one of them is the brakes on it are awesome, but I keep twisting the little cam in half. It's an ABS printed thing that I made with a shaft through it, but it keeps sliding on the shaft. So I'm going to take nylon 6 and mill one out on my mill, the part. And I may also do one out of aluminum. And I know the nylon 6 will be plenty strong enough, but just for fun, I might try to make it out of aluminum to see if I can do it. The exhaust on it has a fake blinking LEDs that strobe, looking like the engine's running and firing, but they're not bright enough. So basically, if the sun's starting to get low, you can see them and everybody's like, wow, that looks cool. But during the day, it's just not bright enough. So I found some really neat higher power LED lights, and I'm going to rebuild the whole harness for that and get that installed on the MSL2 for Ceph and well, actually for the year, for any fun flies I'm going to go to. And now I'm going to talk about Ceph for a minute. And this is, by the way, a satellite image of Ceph. And if you look at the bottom left-hand corner, you can see my MSL2 in a really neat close-up. And just so you know, this isn't a satellite. Okay, I'm joking. Okay, somebody might really think this is a satellite picture. But a friend of mine's an awesome drone pilot, and he took this from his drone. But Ceph is absolutely a blast. It's coming up. This was on the first day, and you can see there's already a boatload of people there. And it's only electric, so that's what's really cool. All of us nerds show out to shine. And, you know, it's just going to be a lot of fun. So that's kind of my life. Excuse me. And then I'm going to do more fun flies. If it's basically within 200 miles of Indianapolis, Indiana, I'm going to try to go. Now, keep in mind, I'm electric only. So if it's a big gas warbird fly-in, I probably won't be going to it. If it's a big jet fly-in, I probably won't be going to it. Even though they might allow ducted fans, electric jets, I might go to that. But I've just got a little Avante. It's nothing too exciting. And but that's this update, everybody. I wanted to keep it kind of short and sweet. So everybody have an awesome day. Keep the emails and comments coming. Tell me what you want to see in content too. Let me know what kind of content you want to see, okay? Have an awesome day, everybody. Be safe and rock on.